What's up, y'all? I'm Mark.
I'm Rafi.
Hey,
Ah,
I think
yeah.
that's the dead giveaway.
Welcome. We're back.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Another day of Mark and Ra here with me, Mark.
And Rafi.
So what's going on, Rafi? What do we got today for the people?
Well, before we get in, what we got for people, how are you doing? I like to know how you doing.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I went to Wally World today. I got a whiteboard. Now I can start getting myself a little bit organized. Slowly but surely, man. We're getting there. We're getting there. I know
Nice.
you had a snow day today, so I don't even have to ask how you do it. You didn't do
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. It was a snow day in Florida, which is really weird, but once again, global warming, maybe. Maybe it's a conspiracy.
It's
No.
called climate change. It's called climate change.
Climate change. There you go. And we have a guest today, Mr.
Hell,
Kareem, Mr. Kareem down here. He's going to help us out with giving us some of his opinions and his perspective. Um, Before we get into you, though, just some news. We are doing interviews now, as you can see.
sick.
Right?
We'll certainly get there with the format and all these things go. So
Yeah,
how we do it, but yeah,
yeah,
no better way than to just start. So at
yeah.
least we got that going.
That's what I was told. I was told, don't nuke this, just go with it. And we are just going with it. And when we end up doing it the way I was thinking in my mind, I'll come back and just tell you guys, hey, I told you so. Y'all should have just listened to me, but you didn't. It is what it is. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, we will just jump right straight into it. Like I said, we have a guest on today, Mr. Kareem. Kareem's one of my buddies that I've known now for whew, 15 years.
14 years, almost 14. Come April, May, 14
Yeah,
years.
14 years.
Dang, you survived 14 years of Rafi? I almost called it quits after three, and those were like 6 month intervals.
I've known Kareem since we were both in sub school for the United States Navy. We were both Navy sailors. And I don't want to go into too much of our relationship because potentially we might have him
Because it
back
was on a
on.
sub and things got weird. We got you.
There's always the submarine jokes, but actually we were never on the same sub together. So it is what it is.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, we've known each other for 14 years. He's a Navy veteran. He's still in the Navy, and he's one of my good friends, man. I really enjoyed knowing Kareem over the years. He's definitely given me some good stories, giving me some good feedback, and I just enjoy talking to him. So, without further ado, Mr. Kareem, how are you?
Good, good, good. If we might supposedly I'm not supposed to have any interruptions, but I do have kids. I got a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and they do not know what the concept of boundaries are. So they may just rush in here and just like, I'm here. And
Yeah,
then
man, no worries. I got a 41-year-old brother that does the same thing. So this show's about life, man. It's always gonna come in and interrupt. So we're good there.
And we just leave the tape rolling because we love it. I love it. I think it's cool. It's
Yeah,
genuine.
Robbie loves it because it's not his life. He loves my life just being thrown into disarray all the time.
This is
Mostly I do it myself, but
this is partially true. I do find laughing at his, displeasure very good for myself. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Kareem, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Whatever you want to like, let everyone know about you.
all right, so grew up South Florida. And dude, I've been so many places doing so much stuff. So my background is my family's Jamaican. And that being said, shout out to all of my people from Yard, my fellow JAs over there
Like
in
Juan.
England.
I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm saying it. I heard Drake say it.
Um, so yeah, being Jamaican, I've had a lot of jobs, and being in the Navy's been the easiest job I've ever had. Did that for active duty 4.5 years, and then uh after my second was born, I was like, you know what? there's got to be another way of doing the Navy, and I still love the Navy. Like as you can see, I'm even wearing my Navy sweater, because I am Joe. I am that Joe.
Go Navy,
Joe
beat Army.
Navy.
Nah, man, y'all drinking the Kool-Aid. That's how you can tell you guys had a much better experience than your average army person. Because I ain't out here drinking that Kool-Aid. Rep no army gear. This is
Nah,
from the
man.
thrift store.
Real. So I've had hard times. I've had um good times, but I honestly gotta say, um, most of what I have today, I don't think I would have had it without the Navy, and the opportunities it's provided me. So that's why I am always like, oh, because it's compared to what it asked, what the I know that there are some people who've really given a lot to the Navy and to the military in general. And much props, much respect. I've gotten a lot, and I've never felt like, man, y'all people just took too much from me.
Mm.
I've always gotten more than I felt I was giving. Um, there's some emotional stuff that is there, but a lot of that recently my so I'm a reservist now, and I've been a reservist since 2015. But it was only recently in the past 2 years that I was on orders, and I actually got a late stage diagnosis of executive dysfunction. Effectively, that which means is that, like, not quite ADHD, but might as well say it.
I
Um,
was thinking ADHD. Okay, but go ahead.
I was about to
yeah,
say I've had that off rip. Just nobody gave me an official title.
but but having that opportunity to, I wouldn't. There is no way on my own steam, with everything I have going on mentally, that I could have the $500,000 home that I have, with wife, kids, and doing everything that I'm doing right now. I'm working cyber for Justice Department, and all this stuff that I have. It
Yeah,
would have been really hard and highly unlikely that I would have been able to achieve what I have without the Navy.
yeah, yeah.
So
The not to move you on, but I totally get that, and I'm pretty sure there's lots of service members in general that will say, yeah, hey, when I was younger, I had no direction. I just joined the Army or the
Yeah.
Navy or Air Force or anything, and it was like, this was my first paycheck, so, and whether it gave them direction, whether it gave them money, whether it gave them a sense of purpose or whatever, I could see where uh that could be something that people would be proud of, as you are, as far as joining the Navy and stuff. There are others out there, that, hey, they've joined the Navy, the Army. They did their 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 years, and they realized,
it's not for them.
yeah, it's not. This isn't for me. I don't want to.
Yeah.
This. Whether it's the leadership, whether it's just the progression. Being an E4 for 6 years. Getting the same paycheck, whatever. You don't see growth. Whether you have ADHD and it's just like, hey, I can't just do this simple task over and over again. Or you just don't see the purpose in whatever you're doing. I could see. I could not be a corpsman or a YN, a yeoman in the Navy, where it's like all you're doing is just paperwork day in and day out, paperwork. You're doing medals and or writing orders and stuff like that. I can see how I could get real mundane and stuff. Um, I will
But
say, oh, go ahead.
even if they only do 4 years, from that time, what is afforded to them after they get out is so much than what you would, if you were doing any other job, what you would be afforded. Like, if I go ahead, I work for Royal Caribbean, the cruise line. Notice a nautical theme in my life, right?
Yeah.
So I worked for the cruise line, and then I was like, you know what? I want to go back to school, work on my master's and whatever. And then I left, and when I left, that was it. They gave me my last paycheck, and that was it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, here the military, you have the GI Bill, both Montgomery and post 9/11.
Mhm.
You have, I mean, personally, I don't know how you can put in like more than 10 minutes and you can't come out and claim something broken.
No, very, very true. And
No,
I'll
but
say,
that's what's wild. That's also the issue too. Is most of the people I know that only serve 2 months are the ones with 100%, and then I have a lot of buddies who serve multiple deployments and either got really messed up or all these other things, and they can't get nothing.
Yeah,
The system itself is broken, but
which is, yeah.
definitely does give you a lot of options and benefits, and the VA loans and all these other things, and the support programs that's out there to help people. Like for me, yeah, joining the army was the best decision I ever made. Second best decision, getting out of the army. Like it was a quick one for me. I understood what it was. I took from it, said thank you. I'm on to something else.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's dope. That's dope. That is, get what you need. When you join, you get what you need, and when you've gotten what you need, then you're done. And no one should ever feel like, oh, how dare you or whatever. I mean, it's you got what you need. You're done. You're ready to move on. Move on. The only thing I might be like, is if you're on traditional retirement system and you're like, I'm at 19 years and I'm upset. And, forget it. I'm gone.
Nah, you stay and get that 20. I don't care what you're doing. You
yeah,
stay
yeah.
and
At
get
that
that
point, you have to
20.
stay. If you get out, you're not thinking right. Um,
I'm salty. Y'all didn't give me the Sailor of the Month this year, and I'm gone.
yeah,
Definitely a lot of that saltiness over time with the military dudes, or dudes and ladies, or they, thems, whatever you are. I don't know. I don't care. But people in the military,
Yeah.
they
yeah,
definitely, after a while, you can start to see them get drug out. You're like, man, this dude does not look happy.
yeah. Oh,
And,
so
yeah.
go ahead.
No, it's just no. I'm just agreeing. I'm just
Okay.
agreeing.
I was just gonna ask, I was gonna actually ask Mark. So you were in the military, you got out. Yeah, were there, when you got out, were you aware and thinking about all the programs and the benefits and stuff that, once you got out, or was it just more like, I'm just trying to get out so I can get out so I can go on and move on to the next, task in my life?
Yeah, no, I just got out to get out. I mean, my 4 years in the army was not the typical 4 years in the army, right? A lot of different things happened. My orders and all these other things that switched. And every time I talk to other people in the army, like, man, that's crazy. I can't believe that happened. I'm like, I know, it's my life. It did happen. They're like, no way. So when I got out, no, I did not have a plan at all. I went back home, just kicking it back home, partying, eating pizza, getting fat, doing nothing, and I did that for like 2, 3 months before my dad was like, get your life together, you piece of shit, like do something. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I put my resume online. This was 2010. So immediately someone calls me like, you want to go to Afghanistan? I'm like, I guess. And that's what happened there. So, I mean, that was the transition. But no, I just knew for me, after our time in Iraq and with my unit, the last unit I was with, like just things weren't really good. I was like, I can't depend all of my life on people ahead of me that I have no control or insight into. Like I need to take more command of my life. And at that time, it wasn't really an opportunity to do that while I was in the military.
Yeah.
I will say this. I really appreciate service members who served during that decade that you did.
Hmm.
And I personally feel like you guys really set the stage for folks like myself, the folks like Rafi and I came in right after you came out.
Yeah.
We were coming in, and the it was almost like, if I can do a correlation, after Vietnam and then vets came home and faced all the garbage that they faced. When we got to Desert Storm and stuff like that, I think that we treated vets way differently because we'd seen how badly we'd done it. So now we were trying to do better. And there were a lot of ways that, in terms of the war on terror, we were not ready. We were not prepared. And you guys were the pioneers. You were living in like the worst of conditions, right? By the time I showed up to Bahrain in 2015, that was an established base and had all the stuff and the necks and the da 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 da. When folks were showing up there when you were doing your rotations, that was just a couple of Connex boxes.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
My tent in Iraq was a little bit different than your ensuite in
In
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
There was certainly no maid service where I was at. No
Yeah,
deep
no, but
bags,
that's what I'm
no
saying.
hot water, but
No,
yeah,
no,
it was.
But that's exactly my point. That's exactly my
no
point. You
PS.
guys, that decade, y'all were roughing it, and I feel like Navy realized, or not Navy, but military as a whole, just like especially Fifth Fleet, or CENTCOM, is like we can do better than this. And so then when folks like myself came in, they're like, oh, I guess they're doing
Yeah.
better.
As with everything in my life, my timing is always off. I guess I was just a couple years too early to the show.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have panned out different. Maybe I would have been sitting there in a nice blue uniform like Rafi, just smiling every day. Hey, I'm excited to be here, guys. I'm working on that. As a newfound hippie, I'm trying to be present, remind myself to smile and be happy with my existence. But every once in a while, it slips, and I forget that I'm a hippie.
Yeah. I don't
I
know
will
why.
say that Rafi is always mm, on the other spot. Even for me, who came in same time as him, I gotta say, Rafi's always had a golden ticket, man. It's just like he just
I don't get it. I'll never understand it. It just shows up. I'm like, man, Rafi, what do you do? I'll be honest with you. I don't really do nothing because I'm a reserve officer. So I try not to do nothing. I just smile and bring a good presence. I'm like, what the hell kind of job is that? I want that job.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
Do not take anything that these guys saying seriously. I do work.
I'm sorry. He works very hard. The country's proud of you. I'm proud of you, dog. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for your service.
I love you guys, man. You guys are awesome.
But more importantly, before we get too far off track,
Yeah.
isn't Kareem here to kind of discuss? He has some
So
YouTube background.
Oh,
actually, we're actually getting close to our time limit. So we're actually got to save that for next time. But this was
oh
good.
God.
Kareem interview part two. I got it. I like it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and we actually have enough questions for Cream interview 3 and 4 probably. But this was good. This was actually a good discussion. I actually do think that discussing people's experiences in the military is good, and then people probably want to know about it. And from you, Mark, being from the Army, and then me and Kareem being from the Navy, and it's good to hear those different perspectives because Mark, you had a different experience, so it was something that was you did your time and you were kind of like, hey, it's time to go, and then listening to Kareem's been like, man, I've been able to, it's opened up a lot of doors, being in the Navy and just being in the military and stuff. And that's cool because everyone's experience is going to be different. Everyone is,
Well, and that's what's crazy too, is just how many vets are out there. I don't know if
yeah,
they say the same thing in the Navy, but they always tell, like in the Army, they're like less than 1% has, is, or will ever join or serve. So you think of it as just this super small number, which it is, but all I meet is vets, and it's like maybe it's the places I go and the people I'm just naturally attracted to, but you like talk to people and you're like, oh, I'm a vet. And like I told you just the other day, I was talking with my brother and his friend. So he works at the VA, so he's trying to help me with that stuff. And we were talking, and all three of us were in Iraq at the same time. I'm like, what are the chances of this? Like obviously I knew my brother was in Iraq, but like I didn't know this guy, and it's just so many people have all these shared similar stories, but I feel like when you talk to these vets, they're always pretty isolated and they don't like talking to other people because they don't have that shared experience, so it's hard to open up. But
yeah,
when you look around, man, there's been 20 years at war, two different wars. There's lots of us, man. There are lots of us. Or 20 years on a boat chilling. Like either way, same,
yeah,
but
yeah.
different, but still same.
Real good, real good. Hey, look, real quick. I hate to wrap up the meeting. I love this. This is great. We gotta definitely do this again. I do want to do this. I want to start doing this segment called Saved Rounds. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that during that some type of meeting. Do you have any saved rounds? And you kind of, pretty much just say anything. Do you have any comments or additional stuff or things that you want to clarify that you were talking about earlier, but like kind of, wrap it up, make it be real quick. Kareem, you're the guest, so do you have any saved rounds?
Um, go Navy beat Army?
Yeah.
No.
Man, how
Yeah.
y'all gonna try to do me like that 2-on-1? Bet. Let's go.
Yeah. Mark, do you have any saved rounds?
Man, nah, I'm just playing. Nah, I got nothing, man. I'm just excited to be here with my two little sweet Navy seamen, man. That's cool. Glad you
Yeah.
guys can join us.
Yeah, no, this was awesome. This actually is real cool, man. Kareem, thank you for coming, man. This is coming in and letting us interview you and you just coming and talking. That's man, this was great. And we didn't even get to the topics that we wanted to talk about. We,
Imagine we're not as organized as we want to be yet, but we will be one
yeah,
day.
yeah.
We
So
could be like top tier interviews. Who's the guy who does the wing one? You could be like that guy.
the wing
I'm
one.
yeah. He does the hot wings and he talks people
Oh,
at
hot
the
ones,
first
yeah.
impression. There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that man, we might have to do something like that,
No, we ain't eating no chicken wings. It
We ain't
ain't
gotta do
happening.
chicken wings. We can do something like hot fries or something, or
Man, we ain't biting off of no one else's thing. We're gonna figure out our own thing. But you
yeah,
can
I do
watch
you're
him
like
and
right.
see how composed he is with
do like hot
questions.
fries. Those are
Oh,
tasty.
why don't we do cheese? Cheese is yeah. No, I'm
Yes,
just-
Rafi, I'm white. Of course I love cheese, man. We've been over this.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
I'm sold. Is that a Gouda? A Gouda Gouda? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right. Well, this is pretty much the end of the show. Do you have any final words, Mark?
Always, man. Be happy. Be happy that you're here. Try to smile. Just enjoy life, man. Thanks for coming and tuning in to all three, four. I don't know how many people are watching yet, but come join us. Maybe you'll be the who we interview next. I don't know.
Yeah. And my final words are this quote that I found that I think is totally awesome, which is success is attained through consistent action and growth. So keep up the keep up the great work, y'all. And you guys have a nice day.
Rafi always trying to show me up with his quotes.